From being seen as the natural successor to regular show, to becoming one of the most quietly erased casualties of the modern streaming era, Close Enough wasn't just cancelled. It was pushed, buried, delayed, forgotten, revived, and then erased again. And its rise and fall reveal more about the streaming industry than any press release ever could.
Guess I'm doing burrito popsicle for lunch.
For a lot of people, regular show wasn't just a cartoon, it was a constant. It was after school comfort, late night laughter, and that feeling that someone out there understood what it meant to be stuck between childhood and responsibility. Watching Mordecai and Rigby every week felt like growing up with two idiots who somehow made us feel a little less lost in life.
I hope this works. Dude, they don't stand a chance.
Yeah, they don't.
Regular show had style and it had heart. And as the seasons went on, fans realized they weren't just watching explosions and laser battles. They were watching a generation come of age. Mordecai and Rigby weren't heroes, they were avatars for messiness. They slacked off, made terrible decisions, got into cosmic trouble, then somehow pulled through. Their journey from irresponsible kids to adults who found purpose became a kind of emotional roadmap for the people watching them. So when regular show ended in 2017, with that legendary space finale that somehow managed to be both ridiculous and heart-wrenching, the goodbye hit differently. It felt like losing that one friend who was always there through school, breakups, boredom, and the awkward phase of figuring out who the hell I am.
Don't worry, Mordecai and Rigby. I know you're sad, but I promise this is a happy ending. Take care of each other. Goodbye.
My God, all those one-star reviews. I wish I could take it all back.
You can try. You and I together, brother. Guess this is it.
It felt like the fans didn't just finish a show, they closed a chapter of their lives. Some cried, some rewatched the finale again and again, and some just sat there not sure what to do next. Creators rarely get that kind of bond with viewers, but J.G. Quintel did. Oh, when he announced his next project, the community didn't treat it like, oh, a new cartoon is coming. They treated it like a continuation of a relationship, and they got hopeful. Here was the next chapter, a show built for people who grew up. It was close enough. See what I did there? Okay, I'll stop, I'm sorry.
It's kicking in. It's kicking in.
But before fans even got to watch it, Close Enough had already lived a dozen lives behind the scenes. At one point, the show wasn't even called Close Enough. It cycled through multiple working titles, almost like it couldn't decide what adulthood even was. Because honestly, who can? Split in rent, 20s and 30s, apartmental, experimenting, joint tenants, half past 30, rent-tailed? Yeah, you can practically track the evolution of the idea through the titles. A group of young adults stuck between life stages, a couple navigating marriages and parenting while barely managing adulthood, a set of roommates dealing with bills, identity, and responsibilities. Each one was trying to capture the same feeling, being youngish, broke-ish, tired-ish, and doing your best to be a functioning adult.
Okay, eons ago.
What the f?
This sucks. You made me hate reading more than I already do.
Is it really that bad?
Let's kick him in the nuts.
And that's not all. The show was initially pitched for Adult Swim. It made sense because Adult Swim thrives on surreal comedy, but then Close Enough got moved to the sister channel of Cartoon Network, TBS.
Are you on a tour? Here, your parents probably won't let you watch this show, but have you seen this one?
This was not a random decision, but an executive strategy because at that time, TBS was trying to build a new adult animation block to rival Adult Swim, and Close Enough was supposed to be one of its foundations. The moment the first trailer dropped, the infamous TBS teaser with its surreal roommates, chaotic parenting, nudity jokes, and sudden bursts of madness, fans knew exactly what they were looking at.
I did it! Our daughter is in bed and it's only 7:30.
Yes!
The art style was unmistakable, the humor was familiar, and fans immediately flooded the comments saying things like, "We grew up watching Regular Show, now we're mature enough for Close Enough." And this is literally made for Regular Show fans who are adults now. It felt like the perfect torch passing moment. The creator who had guided the fans through adolescence was now guiding them through adulthood.
Dearly beloved, who's ready for some trick-or-treating? I am!
Close Enough was supposed to come out just a year after Regular Show ended. It had the hype, the momentum, Regular Show fans, and new adult rating that let Quintel go all in on the jokes that Cartoon Network never allowed him to make. Everything was lined up for a seamless transition from one era to the next. But then, everything collapsed. TBS, the network that had hyped its new adult animation block, suddenly shut down the entire division because one show underperformed. Final Space flopped, and The Cops was axed after its co-creator was caught in a scandal.
Oh crap. Oh crap. We're on the wrong freaking planet.
TBS executives panicked so hard they killed almost every animation project in its wake, including Close Enough. And that's where Close Enough's collapse genuinely started. Not after its premiere, not even after 3 seasons, but right there. And it wasn't because of the creator, the animators, the audience, or even the show itself. It was timing, lost momentum, and an opportunity cut short by decisions no writer or fan could ever influence. This is the tragic downfall of Close Enough. Close Enough went from a hyped upcoming series to a completed show with nowhere to air. It sat on a shelf, buried in dust, forgotten by the network that once promised it center stage. Fans who had been excited for a new show within a year of Regular Show's finale suddenly heard nothing for months, then years. And just like that, life moved on. The industry moved on. Older fans drifted away, and with new streaming platforms popping up everywhere, audiences had more to watch than ever. Close Enough wasn't just delayed, it was abandoned for 3 long years. And while most shows die in that silence, Close Enough was not done yet. In 2020, HBO Max showed up like a defibrillator and shocked the show back to life. And when the announcement finally came that the show would be revived as a Max original, fans erupted. It felt like hearing from an old friend you thought moved away forever. For a moment, it felt like Destiny had corrected its course. And when the show finally dropped, it wasn't just good. It was great. Close Enough was not Regular Show for adults, it was something better. It was Regular Show's own audience grown up.
People make too big a deal about test scores. Candace is fine.
I wrote my name!
Friday night? You drinking it?
Where Regular Show followed 2 young slackers figuring out who they wanted to be, Close Enough followed 2 exhausted parents trying to remember who they used to be. Josh and Emily weren't kids, they weren't irresponsible.
We're totally gonna kill it at the presentation.
Make those other kids' patches look like S-H-I-T. Are you guys following? Those teachers are good.
Their roommates were not just comic relief, everyone felt like a real, flawed person. Alex was the divorced guy who was still stuck in his college phase mindset because adulthood blindsided him.
We're here for you.
It's gas. Like gas.
Bridget was the friend who pretended she was put together but constantly cracked beneath the surface.
Yeah. 100% no stress day.
And Candace wasn't a TV kid stereotype, she was awkward and sweet and weird in exactly the ways real kids are weird.
I'm not supposed to have candy.
Okay. Are you? Candace, be careful!
They were just people, real people doing their best to stay afloat in an economy, a city, and a life that constantly demanded too much. The show told the viewers everything it was trying to say from the very first season itself. Like in episode 2 of season 1 called Logan's Run, when Candace goes off for her sleepover, Josh and Emily are standing there in the doorway, waving goodbye, and something hits them. This is the first night in 5 years that they don't have to be parents.
We haven't had a night to ourselves in 5 years.
We can do whatever we want.
We have nothing holding us back. We can run errands.
And just like in any other cartoon, this would be a setup for some wild, absolutely chaotic, out of control party montage. But Close Enough takes us somewhere way more honest. Because what do they do with their first night of freedom? They run errands, go to a bookstore, pump gas, and get in their bed to do taxes like it's the most thrilling thing on the planet.
kid-free night.
And this was where the viewers realized Close Enough was not trying to recapture regular show. It was trying to capture adulthood. The weird, tiring, repetitive, anticlimactic version of adulthood nobody warned about. Then later in the same episode, the show flips the energy completely. When Bridget calls them old, Josh and Emily try to convince themselves that they're still young.
Sorry, can't. I'm going out to Logan's tonight. It's the hot club right now.
Come on, it's Crumpet Week.
Yeah, so remember how we agreed to warn each other if we ever started to turn, old?
What? Just because we're drinking Lavender Dreamtime tea?
Lavender Dreamtime? Ah, yes, please. First pour, though. Daddy doesn't like it too strong.
So they decide to go clubbing. But because this is Close Enough, the club is secretly a death trap that publicly executes anyone over 30. It's absurd, but it's also painfully relatable, because who hasn't had that moment where they walk into a room full of younger people and instantly feel like they shouldn't be there?
I want to do that! How do you get to be a VIP?
VIP!
Oh my god, it's so beautiful. Huh? Whoa, what? No!
Oh my gosh! Holy crap!
Dude thought he could cruise in here over the age of 30 and not get executed? SMH, bruh.
The surrealism wasn't random, it was emotional. That's what made Close Enough different from regular show. In regular show, the chaos was a metaphor for teenager responsibility. In Close Enough, the chaos in adulthood amplified. Insecurities, burnout, anxiety, all turned into literal monsters and laser beams.
Everyone close your eyes and repeat after me. I am in my body.
It's like the show is telling the viewers that the things adults stress about aren't stupid. They just feel stupid until they see someone else go through them. Close Enough took the surreal, explosive energy of regular show and grounded it in the emotional truth of adulthood. Every over-the-top transformation, every ridiculous scenario, every sci-fi explosion was actually hiding something painfully relatable underneath. When Emily tries to win a school fundraiser, the fundraiser becomes a cosmic nightmare. When Josh wants to impress his daughter, he ends up fighting a surreal creature born from parental guilt. Season 1 hit like a meteor. Critics praised it, fans embraced it instantly. People who had never touched regular show still fell in love with it. For once, an adult animated series wasn't cynical, wasn't edgy for the sake of shock value. It was warm, chaotic, heartfelt, and rooted in life as people genuinely experienced it. Close Enough became the show that let its fans admit, without guilt, that they were tired, they were overwhelmed, and they were doing the best they could even when it didn't feel like enough. And for a brief moment, Close Enough looked invincible. It felt like it was finally getting its deserved momentum. This gotta be my favorite comment though. You know who else would like this show? My mom. 3 seasons released in just 2 years. A strong fan base, great critical reception, and the recognition that the show wasn't just a spiritual successor to regular show. It was something with its own voice, its own message, its own emotional identity. It felt like the beginning of a long, healthy run. It looked like Quintel had done it once again.
Stereotypical prisoner. Is that real?
Is this real?
Oh my God! It's real! It's not a prank! This is not a prank!
But while Close Enough was thriving creatively, everything around it was falling apart. In 2022, Warner Bros. Merged with Discovery. The new management inherited billions of dollars in debt, and instead of dealing with it gradually, they began cutting content aggressively to save money through tax write-offs. Suddenly, dozens of animated shows were canceled or removed from HBO Max, not because of ratings or quality, but because removing them was financially beneficial. It was a bloodbath. Shows after shows disappeared. Some shows were wiped so thoroughly that even people who made them didn't know where to watch their own work. And in the middle of all of that chaos, Close Enough was quietly canceled after 3 seasons. There was no emotional farewell or big announcement, not even a final episode to tie everything together. And then, in the same wave of cuts, the show was completely removed from HBO Max. Not just canceled, deleted, erased completely for financial reasons. And fans noticed something infuriating. Shows like Close Enough, Infinity Train, OKKO, and dozens of original animated series were being Thanos-snapped. Meanwhile, shows tied to larger franchises, like Velma, were renewed or protected despite overwhelmingly negative reception. It became painfully obvious that Close Enough wasn't canceled because it failed. It was canceled because it wasn't an IP that could sell merchandise or tie into another billion-dollar property. It wasn't corporate friendly, it was heartfelt. And in that year of cost-cutting, Heartfelt didn't matter. What hurts the most is that Close Enough wasn't even over yet. Season 3 didn't feel like closure, it felt like the midpoint of a much bigger story. The writing was sharper than ever, the emotional arcs were developing, the characters were growing, and fans were left disappointed once again. But even though Close Enough didn't get a proper ending, the impact it left behind is undeniable. Regular Show helped a generation move into adulthood. Close Enough helped that generation survive it.
Hey guys, I was thinking, if we can have breakfast for dinner, why not dinner for breakfast?
Candace, that's not how you cook lasagna.
And even though Close Enough failed, it was failed by executives, by a merger, by decisions made for spreadsheets instead of stories. Its comfort, reliability, and emotional honesty will outlive any platform that erased it. It taught its viewers that sometimes being close enough is exactly what adulthood is supposed to be. If you want to see more of these videos, just keep watching the regular recap. Subscribe.